Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to make decisions. Today, I want to deal with a particular topic that is going to, what should I say? It's going to make you think of something. It's going to make you be perturbed. It's going to make you want to think about what is going on in society. What exactly is it that I want to share with you? I want to share with you something that I think is of utmost importance to all of us in terms of our lives and well being, and that is depression in men in Jamaica. Now, I am your host for this presentation. It was a research that was done in 2022, and I want you to pay attention between the latter part of 2022. So I want you to pay attention to this. And I am Paul Bourne, or Dr. Bourne, who has a doctorate in public health, and I want to actually speak to you on a matter that must be understood and must be looked at. What do I mean by depression? Depression is classified as a mood disorder which is associated with feeling of sadness, loss of interest, which negatively affects how one feels, thinks, and of course, behave. The onset of depression may precipitate from stress, conflicting events, or times of crisis that an individual may experience. And that was taken from World Health Organization, which is WHO 2021. Male depression often go undiagnosed due to atypical signs and symptoms they present. And we understand clearly that men, instead of dealing with their depressive state or mental health status, are likely to be aggressive and do risky things in trying to hide how depressed they are. During the COVID-19 period, a number of men experienced a number of level of depression that we want to look at. So we want to look at a theory, which is a gender norm theory, conformity theory, that examines what exactly it means by masculinity and how it is that masculinity impacts on one mental health and one mental health outcome. So that is a construct in which we're going to be using to look at this study for us today. So what fundamentally I want to look at? I want to look at the level of depression among Jamaican men and the types of depression that they were experiencing during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we're talking about 2022 here. A number of things have been written on depression. In the United States, for example, there was one study that found that 77% of persons living in the United States, men we're talking about, reported high level of stress during the pandemic. Additionally, 45% of males were having some mental health problem, felt a decline in their mental health. And this is speaking to what was going on. A number of them felt isolated. Almost 60% of men in the United States felt isolated during the pandemic. And we are fully aware that isolation, social isolation, also impacts on one's mood, one's thinking, and of course, one's behavior. Men with depression are unlikely to disclose it. And a part of this is owing to what goes on in the world in terms of men ought to be strong, dominant, masculine, do not show feeling, do not show weakness. And as a result, men hide or mask their depression instead of saying this to someone. So this study is a cross-sectional one in nature, using stratified random sampling of men across the 14 parishes of Jamaica. And we use men who are only 18 years and older, primarily because we do not want to get into the issue relating to consent of minors. So let's look now at some results that came out of the study. One thing we want to look at, first thing, is related to suicide. 66% of Jamaican men indicated that they do not feel suicidal or any other thing relating to that negative state. However, 25% of men do not think that life is worth living, which means 1 in every 4 Jamaican men during the ending of 2022 do not feel life is worth living. 5% of them wish that they were dead. 3.4% of them indicated that they had some suicidal thoughts. And 1% of Jamaican men have actually attempted suicide during 2022. Now, there are some other difficulties that men are experiencing that we want to look at today as well. And that is men having challenges sleeping. Now, 44% of Jamaican men indicated during the study period that they have no challenge sleeping, which means that 56% of Jamaican men had some issue relating to sleeping. Frequently being unable to sleep, 10%. Occasionally, 46% of men are having challenges sleeping. Let's look at some other things. Men who are experiencing some level of somatic anxiety. 50%, let's say 51% of men indicated, listen, we're not having any problem with anxiety. And that would mean that 49% of Jamaican men are having some issue relating to challenge relating to sleeping. Severely, 2.2%, moderately, 9.7%, and mild anxiety, 38%. Now, let's now look at some other issue, and that is now symptoms, heaviness in terms of limbs, having back or head pain, and having other issues, energy and fatigue as well. 56%, which means that 44% of men are having some issue relating to heaviness in terms of the limb or back or head pain or such the like, loss of energy, etc. Now, Hamilton Depression Index was used to examine the level of depression in men. It's a 21-item scale, which runs from no depression to very severe depression. Now, let's look what the results say to us. Remember, we interviewed 1,066 men, and we have calculated their level of depression using this Max Hamilton Depression Scale or Depression Index. 47% of Jamaican men indicate, or based on the scale, are not depressed. That means that 53% of Jamaican men are depressed. It means that there are more depressed men than, let's put it another way, let's use a colloquial term, undepressed men. Let's look at the level of depression. Mild depression, 29%. Moderate depression, 14%. Severe depression, 4.7%. And very severe depression, 5%. It means that 10% of Jamaican men are severely depressed. 1 in every 10. Let's look at some numbers. So we are saying that 53% of men are depressed. Let's actually let's call it 50%. We are saying 1 in every 2 male, which means it's highly likely males and females who are on the road interacting persons in Jamaica who are men are going to meet a male who is depressed. 1 in every 2 male is depressed in Jamaica. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the only person who's going to be saying this or has thought about it, but I want to bring to your attention that no male is born of a male. It means that all males are born of a female. Why have I actually started a thought like that? It is simple. A number of females have been bashing males and have been saying derogatory things about the male in Jamaica. And by so doing, they are also creating an atmosphere of anxiety, furthering the depression of the males. And a number of the females who are bashing these males themselves are mothers of male children or a male child. They are the ones who will be socializing these boys to be men. Let's look at it. The society in Jamaica says about 50% of the Jamaican household are single mothers. It means that it's highly likely that the female is going to be growing the male child into adulthood and manhood. Now, if the female is going to be growing the male to adulthood or manhood, or adulthood and or manhood, it means that the female has a responsibility to groom the male for life. That is to deal with other females and to deal with life challenges. If it is females that all you are going to be doing is bashing the males, then it means that that male child is going to be socialized in a bashed social mental environment. It's highly likely that he is going to not be depressed as a result of your behavior, your attitude, or even how he has been socialized in the process that you are bashing his father and other males. But outside of that, males and females, I want to look carefully at something that a number of you are not taking into consideration. And that matter is simple. If 1 in every 2 male is depressed, some form of depression, and 10% of them are severely depressed, then think of how you speak to a male. I'm saying think about it, ladies. If all the things that you're going to say to a male is derogatory, and your attitude or behavior will be furthering his challenge or lowering his mental health status, which is already at a problematic stage, then what you are doing something at your detriment. You are living and socializing yourself in a dangerous environment. What are your thoughts? Like, share, and subscribe to this channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to make a decision. Have yourselves an awesome day.